This is episode number 851 of the InnerFight podcast. This week, I bring you fasting. Welcome back to the show, folks, and welcome to 5 Minute Mondays. This is all about fasting. Fasting is nothing new to humanity, and it's probably nothing new to a number of you. If only your only experience with fasting is the fact that you need a 12-hour fast before you go for some blood tests or something at the hospital. At some stage of our life, some of us will have experienced a fast. In school, I remember us being put on a fast when we were sick. They would limit food, not really water. We'd still have liquids, but we'd be limited foods for 24 hours. It is rooted in a number of different religious beliefs as well. And in more the modern era, we're seeing fasting spoken about a lot more for health benefits and also for weight loss benefits. More probably for weight loss benefits, but there is also some performance benefits around fasting. This week, I want to bring you in the next 4 minutes, 5 things related, or 5 major benefits or points related to intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting we generally know as a 16-hour fast, where we're fasting for 16 hours of the day and we have an 8-hour eating window. There are a number of different benefits, but I just want to talk about 4 or 5 of them. And the number one thing is what I said in my introduction, is that we do often see, when we limit that eating window to 8 hours, we see some weight loss occur. This is mainly due to overall calorie intake being reduced. However, on a longer term basis, this is not something that I think is super advisable, and we see that weight gain plateau at the end. But the initial phase of intermittent fasting, we definitely see some weight fluctuations, normally in the downward direction. The second thing, because we are not eating so regularly, because we are not eating over the 12 hours where we might eat 5 or 6 meals, we see an improved insulin sensitivity. This is something that basically can help us a lot, especially for those people who are at risk of type 2, or they're in a state, or they've been told they're in a state of pre-diabetic type 2 diabetes, because it helps to control our blood sugar levels. The third thing, benefit that we are getting from intermittent fasting, is cellular autophagy. That put my teeth back in. And basically what we're having here is, during fasting, your body basically is cleaning out damaged cells and regenerating new ones. So we're giving the body chance to complete that process rather than feeding it with more food and asking it to continue working. It's enabled to carry out basically its own housekeeping services during those 16 hours. If we're eating for 12 or 16 hours of the day, then we are not able to have that time where the body is able to get that cell regeneration. We also, number 4, see some enhanced brain function as well. People that are carrying out intermittent fasting often see a little bit of a boost in brain health, and they see an increased amount of focus. I've seen this myself. I've used intermittent fasting for a number of years, especially the brain clarity does not come later in the day. It comes at the early stages of the day, which interestingly is at the back end of the fast. And by that, I mean, you see a lot more brain clarity early in the morning as you're coming to the end of that fasting window. And the 5th point is, the 5th benefit really is, there is an incredible amount of simplicity, and at the same time it is quite flexible, because we are only eating within this 8-hour window, which you might say is not flexible. That's not the flexible part. That's the simple part, is that you only have to eat within this 8-hour window, but you can move your 8-hour window around. So if you finish eating at 6 p.m. or you finish eating at 8 p.m., you will have a 2-hour buffer within that time period. But it does simplify things quite a lot in that you are only eating during that 8-hour window. For continued health benefits, we absolutely recommend, and sometimes I'll actually eat a lot more within that 8-hour window based on my training. That's a little caveat, but calorie restriction throughout fasting is not going to provide you these benefits if it's done on an ongoing basis. It will in the early stages, and that's why we might see people using intermittent fasting as a kickstart to try and shift some weight. There is some decent benefits to that, as well as the ones that I've mentioned during this show, but it's definitely something that I've enjoyed for a long time, and I think a lot of people somehow do get some enjoyment out of it, as well as some benefits. So if you're looking for something different, have a read. Don't just take these 5 minutes and roll with it. Have a read, do some research, ask some more questions. But that in 5 minutes is intermittent fasting. Thanks for listening.